So you want to go keto, but you're afraid you have to give up all of this precious, delicious vegetables. I'm here to tell you that you could have your keto vegetables and you could eat it too. What's up, everybody? My name is Ben Azadi. I'm a certified functional health practitioner, best-selling author of 3 books, and I'm on a mission to educate 1 billion people on planet Earth. In this video, I'm gonna break down my 5 keto-approved vegetables that you can have all the time. They taste delicious, and guess what? They keep you in ketosis. I'm also gonna share with you the worst vegetable to have on the keto diet that will for sure knock you out of ketosis, wreck your gut, and even increase your chances of cancer. So in this video, you're gonna learn my go-to #1 favorite keto-approved vegetable that you should be eating all the time, because not only does it taste good, it's gonna help get you even better results with your keto diet. I'm also gonna break down the worst vegetable for the keto diet, or any diet for that matter. And then at the end of this video, you wanna stay for the end, because I'm gonna break down 2 bonus tips that if you incorporate all these vegetables with these bonus tips, you're gonna 10x your keto results. Here are some keto considerations for you. The vegetables I'm about to share, always buy organic whenever possible, because when you're buying non-organic food, it has much more pesticides and herbicides sprayed on it. Yes, organic foods still contain trace amounts of pesticides, but non-organic food has much more. What does that do? It wrecks your gut, it increases your risk of disease, and we don't want any of that. So let's support real organic farming, and it'll also help our bodies, because you could either pay the farmer now or you could pay the doctor later. Either way, you're gonna have to pay. Another consideration is to eat the entire vegetable as a whole with the fiber and everything intact, and don't juice it. Juicing is fine for vegetables here and there, but I would much prefer for you to have the entire vegetable as a whole. And then lastly, buy local. Support your local farmers. They're doing great work and they need your support. And guess what? That's as fresh as it's going to get. So support local. So without further ado, let's get into my #1 favorite all-time keto vegetable that you should be eating every single day. Beet tops / beet stems. So when you get your beets, you don't throw away the stems, don't throw away the tops. That is the golden key to your keto results. They're the most nutrient-dense vegetables that you can find on your keto diet. And you know what one of my favorite things about beet tops is? It is so high in potassium, higher than any other green leafy vegetable. Potassium is very, very important when you're following a keto diet, because guess what? As you burn through your sugar reserves on the keto diet, which is a great thing, you also burn through your electrolytes. And you know what the #1 most important electrolyte is? Potassium. And we require 4,700 milligrams of potassium every single day. Most people are not getting that. And what happens? You feel like crap on the keto diet. You might get the keto flu, aka carbohydrate withdrawal symptoms. You will feel sluggish and you just don't feel that great. We don't want that. We want to get all the amazing benefits of keto and ketones for the long term. So potassium will help you do that. And beet tops are loaded in potassium. Beet tops also help the liver gallbladder detox. The liver gallbladder is so important when it comes to eating the keto diet, because that's where your body produces bile. Bile is a detergent that breaks down all that amazing fat you're eating on the keto diet. And a lot of people have sluggish bile, and they don't feel good when they're doing keto because of this sluggish bile. Well, beet tops will help increase your amount of healthy bile production. It'll help the liver, which is the soccer mom of all organs, do its job more efficiently, and it'll help the gallbladder store that bile to break down the fat. Beet tops have more iron than spinach. Iron is very important for a woman watching this right now who gets her monthly cycle, because a lot of my female clients who get their monthly cycle, they're usually low on iron. And it's important to replenish it with iron-rich foods. So beet tops are a great way, and it's a must for any woman who's watching this right now who has her monthly cycle. Beet tops are also high in a very important mineral, magnesium. Magnesium will support better sleep, it'll support a better mood, and it's just an overall great nutrient that a lot of people are deficient in, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about magnesium later on in this video. So when you have your beets and you're cutting off the tops, don't throw them away. Here's a cool tip for you. Put those tops in the freezer, the beet tops, and then make yourself a fatty keto smoothie with coconut milk and some other healthy fats in there, coconut oil, MCT oil, whatever you want to put on there. Put some ice and put those frozen beet tops in the shake. Tastes delicious, loaded with potassium. It'll keep you in ketosis, it'll keep you full. Make yourself a fatty beet top keto shake. You're gonna love it. And you could also throw in some blueberries. As you know, blueberries is my #1 keto approved fruit. If you haven't seen my video on this channel, it's called 5 keto approved fruits you can eat all the time, and berries were #1 on my list. #2 on my list, kale. Kale, yeah, baby. I love kale. Kale is great because not only is it high in omega-3s, which is surprising to a lot of people, it helps the balance of omega-6 to omega-3. A lot of people are omega-6 dominant, and when you're omega-6 dominant, that creates a lot of inflammation in the body. When you have inflammation in the body, your fat-burning hormones cannot get into your cells, and then you have weight loss resistance, and then your weight slows down, and you don't make as much progress as you'd like. So we want to get a healthy ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fats. When you look at nature, there's a balance in nature of omega-6 to omega-3. There's about a 2-to-1 to 6-to-1 ratio, meaning omega-6 to omega-3. Most people are a 20 to 30-to-1 ratio, high omega-6, low omega-3. So we want to get that balance in check, and kale will help you do that. Next, it's low in oxalates. A lot of green leafy vegetables, it could cause problems in some people, and it gets a bad rap because of oxalates. Well, oxalates are known to cause issues with kidney stones, kidney stone development. So they could be bad news, especially if you are sensitive to kidney stones. Well, guess what? Kale is surprisingly low in oxalates. So you have nothing to worry about that. It will not contribute to kidney stones. Kale has more calcium than milk per calorie. Okay, come on. Milk is not a healthy keto food. I'm sorry. If you're drinking pasteurized milk on your keto diet, you're just consuming a dead product. When it's pasteurized, they heat it up at high temperatures. It gets rid of all the amazing bacteria, all the enzymes, and they reintroduce minerals in there, and you're just drinking a dead product, and your body has to enliven itself. So it takes energy away from your body, from the task at hand, to process that milk. So milk is not a healthy keto food. Although it might keep you in ketosis, it's not healthy keto. Kale also has a good amount of vitamin C. It also has more iron per calorie than red meat. Again, if you're a woman having her monthly cycle, throw in some kale, throw in some beet tops, and you'll get optimal levels of iron. Lastly, it is high in sulfur. We know that sulfur helps the detoxification of the body. It helps increase something called glutathione. Glutathione is the #1, it's the master antioxidant of the human body. And guess what? Kale will help you get some of that. #3 on my list is asparagus. I love asparagus. I get it all the time when I'm out in restaurants. It's a great source of prebiotic fiber. Prebiotic fiber feeds the good guys. It feeds your beneficial gut bacteria. I much prefer getting prebiotic fiber rather than a probiotic, because when you take just a probiotic and you take it for too long, it'll create monocultures and it'll actually create problems in your gut. Not a fan of probiotics. I am a fan of prebiotics, and asparagus is a great way to get those prebiotics. It's important to feed the good bacteria, because when you do go keto and you transition, you're gonna get rid of a lot of the bad bacteria, which is great. We wanna do that. So when you eat asparagus, you're gonna repopulate with the good guys. You want a healthy balance of good to bad gut bacteria in the gut. Asparagus contains a compound called asparaginine. This is a cool compound because it actually helps the liver and kidneys flush out toxins. That's why you might notice that when you go and you pee after eating asparagus, it smells funky. Well, those are toxins getting out of the body. So it's a great way to help the liver and the kidney out, help flush out some toxins, because let's face it, toxins are everywhere. I talk about it a lot in my videos, and eating asparagus is a very simple way to get some downstream support with detox. Asparagus has chromium. You might see blood sugar supplements out there that help regulate blood sugar that have chromium in it. Chromium helps. A lot of studies show chromium helps regulate blood sugar. Well, you don't have to take it from a supplement. If you're having asparagus, it naturally has chromium, and it's gonna help regulate blood sugar. So I always tell my clients that I coach, which are entrepreneurs, they ask me, Ben, if I were to have alcohol, what are some things I can do before I have or after I have the alcohol to help mitigate the damage done from that alcohol? And I always tell them, hey, when you're out at a restaurant and you're having a drink or two and they have asparagus on the menu, go ahead and eat the asparagus either before, with, or after the alcohol, because it'll help prevent that blood sugar from spiking, and it'll also help metabolize a little bit of that alcohol. So that's a cool hack for you right there. Asparagus is high in folate, vitamin K, B vitamins. These are all great, especially B vitamins, because B vitamins help you deal with stress. It'll help calm the adrenals, and a lot of people are deficient in B vitamins. It also protects against kidney stones. So you might see a lot of people talking about keto causing kidney stones. Well, if you do it the right way, if you throw in some asparagus, you're actually going to have nothing to worry about. And lastly, I didn't put it on here, it's high in phosphorus, which will help with your energy levels. Okay, on to the next vegetable. And before I get to the next vegetable, if you're enjoying this video so far, I wanna just encourage you and ask you to hit the like button down below. It'll help this video get to more people. Let's continue. So cabbage is great. It's a low carb, high sulfur, cruciferous vegetable. And I touched a little bit about glutathione earlier. The sulfur in this cabbage will help your body increase glutathione. Glutathione, we want it. Master antioxidant, this is another way to get good amounts of glutathione. I actually love getting cabbage in the form of fermented cabbage, sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is great, and especially if you're dealing with keto bloating, which a lot of people are getting some bloating on keto, throw in some sauerkraut, it'll help a little bit, and chew frequently as well. And I also have videos on my channel about bloating and digestive issues, so make sure you browse my channel for those videos. Cabbage has something in it called glutamine. Glutamine helps heal the gut lining. So many people have something called leaky gut, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about later. And what that does when you have leaky gut, it contributes to ulcers, leaky gut, it's on here, acid reflux, and diverticulitis. So when you have glutamine, it'll help repair the gut a little bit, and you get glutamine naturally from cabbage. Cabbage makes a great keto coleslaw. Throw in some Primal Kitchen mayonnaise, which is a healthy keto mayonnaise, and some cabbage and maybe some lemon juice and some apple cider vinegar, and make yourself an amazing keto coleslaw. And you could have that with your family. Your kids might think it's regular coleslaw, when in reality it's a healthy keto version, so give it a try. And my final note on cabbage, if you are gonna cook it, make sure you don't overcook it. You could lightly steam it, but anything more than that, you're gonna lose a lot of these amazing nutrients that I spoke about. On to number 5. Can you believe we're already at the 5th vegetable? You're still going to want to stick around because I talk about the worst vegetable to have, and I give you 2 bonus tips before we wrap things up here. Broccoli is super cool. I nerd out researching the benefits of broccoli. And by the way, a great resource is Dr. Rhonda Patrick, Found My Fitness. She has great information on the compounds found in broccoli, and a lot of this information was taken from Dr. Rhonda Patrick, so thank you, Dr. Rhonda. When it comes to the metabolism of estrogen, there's 3 pathways that our estrogen could go down through, and this is important for both men and women. So just guys, if you're watching this and you're thinking doesn't relate to you because estrogen, oh, it does. So there is the 2, the 4, and the 16 pathway. One of these pathways is a healthy pathway. We want most of our estrogen to go down this pathway, and that is this one right here, the 2. However, most people, they have toxic pathways their estrogen is going through. If it's going to the 4 or the 16, that damages your DNA. It turns on bad genes and it leads to cancer, it leads to disease. A lot of people have high amounts, they have estrogen dominance, and it's going down the wrong pathway. And that's why we see this epidemic of breast cancer, prostate cancer, and bad things happening, because there's people who are drinking plastic water bottles that have been sitting in their car. They're drinking all these, they're eating food out of Tupperware that's been microwaved, and all this plastic is leaching into our foods, and it's creating this estrogenic load. We don't like that. There's a great book out there called The Anti-Estrogenic Diet by Ori Hofmeckler. If you want to learn more about this epidemic, he has a lot of great information in that book. I'll put a link for it down below in the notes. So we know broccoli helps you metabolize estrogen so it doesn't go down the wrong pathway, and it decreases that load. Something else that's pretty cool is that a study showed a 40% decrease in prostate cancer in men, okay? That's huge. Prostate cancer is very common, especially in the United States, and this study showed a 40% decrease. Another study showed a 44% lower incidence of bladder cancer in men as well. Huge, huge decrease right there. And then there's also a study that showed a 17 to 50% decrease in breast cancer. Did you know that almost every single American woman has the breast cancer gene? Doesn't mean they're all going to get it. You see, genes are like lights on a Christmas tree. We turn them on, we turn them off. We have control. It's called epigenetics. When you take broccoli, high amounts of quality broccoli, you have a 17 to 50% decrease. Why is this such a big gap? Well, it depends on how often these women in the study had the broccoli. There's a powerful enzyme in broccoli called isothiocyanates. This thing is badass. It actually activates the NRF2 pathway, which is a longevity pathway, and it's responsible for over 200 genes, antioxidant genes, anti-inflammatory genes. The NRF2 pathway is dope. We want a lot of this activation. Also, ketones help activate it. So imagine if you're getting ketones and you're eating high quality broccoli, you get to activate this, you get double the benefit there. A powerful way to get a lot of these benefits that I'm talking about here are broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts actually have 100 times more of these isothiocyanates that I was talking about, something called sulforaphanes. So I'm gonna put a link for a product down below that I use that are broccoli sprouts, and it's a great way to get a lot of these benefits. I'm also gonna share with you a video from Dr. Rhonda Patrick that she really goes deep for like an hour into the benefits of broccoli. So I'll put that video in the show notes below as well. All right, it's time to get to the worst vegetable to have on the keto diet, on any diet, as a matter of fact. You ready? Corn. Oh my gosh, corn is bad news and it's everywhere. I'm gonna show you some hidden places you could find them. It's high in carbohydrates, so it's gonna knock you out of ketosis. It's gonna raise your blood sugar. It's just not conducive to being in ketosis. 85% of all corn grown in the United States is GMO. What is GMO? That is genetically modified organisms, AKA it's a frankenfood, AKA it is not recognized by your body by a food, and it's going to cause problems because it's loaded with pesticides and herbicides that actually wreck your gut. It opens up your tight junctions and it creates these food particles go into your bloodstreams. It creates an autoimmune response, and then what happens? Autoimmune disease, cancer. A lot of bad things start to happen because of these GMO products, and 85% of all corn in the US is GMO. And that study, it's probably even worse because that's the study I got from 2 years ago. It's probably even higher if I had to guess. So where are you gonna find, maybe you're thinking, I don't eat corn, I'm good. Well, not so fast because it is everywhere. Here are some hidden sources that you wanna be aware of. They're hidden in ketchups, okay? Even keto ketchups that might keep you in ketosis has high fructose corn syrup. So read the label. They're also hidden in a lot of salad dressings. Corn oil is everywhere. A lot of restaurants cook with them. So what I do is when I go to a restaurant, I ask them, hey, what oil do you cook with? And they're gonna usually say soybean, corn oil, some sort of nasty industrial vegetable oil. And I tell them, hey, I'm allergic to vegetable oils. Can you use an extra virgin olive oil or butter? And most of the time it's not a problem. So be aware that a lot of restaurants use corn oil. Keto bar, some keto bars have high fructose corn syrup or hidden corn ingredients like citric acid or natural flavors. So you gotta really know the company and trust them, and you want them to be able to answer all your questions if you send them an email. Also a lot of dips and many other places. So just be aware of that. Here's what I want you to do. Do a kitchen audit. When you finish with this video, go into your kitchen, especially if you have kids. A lot of these children are eating these corn, vegetable oil products. Do an audit. Whatever you see, a vegetable oil, corn, throw it out, and your body, your future self, and your future family is gonna thank you for it. I have 2 bonus tips for you, and we're gonna wrap things up here. I'm having a lot of fun with these, so thank you for sticking around. All right, bonus tip number 1. When you're done eating your carbohydrate, you're getting your carbs from veggies, and it has fiber, so a lot of it's gonna cancel out. But when you're having it, you're still having carbs. So something you can do to help regulate blood sugar is to go for a 20-minute walk after your meal. As a matter of fact, you should get into the habit of going for a walk after all meals. I read a study that showed just a 10-minute walk after a large meal was consumed by type 2 diabetics resulted in a 22 decrease in blood sugar. Okay, so you could get a lot of these benefits. I recommend a 20-minute walk after all meals. It'll help balance your blood sugar and keep you into ketosis. Tip number 2 is have most of these vegetables, of your carbohydrates, later on in the day. I like anytime between like 4 and 7 p.m. being the bulk of your carbohydrates, because at this point, your glycogen stores are gonna be very low or depleted. That's where you store your sugar, in your liver and your muscle. So when you deplete that, or when it's low and then you have your carbohydrates, you're just gonna take those carbs from the vegetables and then pack it as fuel and refill your sugar reserves instead of storing it as fat. So I'm a big fan of having most of your carbs, and I know it might be different than what you've been taught, but most of your carbs later on in the day, not necessarily early in the morning or frequently throughout the day. I have a free resource for you. It's 4 ways to burn fat instead of sugar. I have more vegetables, more keto-approved fruits and fats, and all the bad stuff that you want to stay away from in this guide. It's a very easy read. If you go to www.ketokickstartguide.com, you can get it for free right now. I want to give a shout out to the comment of the day, and this is from Alice Roman, and she says, I love your work. It holds my interest. I'm just focused without any distractions. That's how good you are. Alice, that means so much to me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos and to comment. I read all comments and I respond to all of them as well. So make sure you comment down below which was your favorite vegetable. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If you have not subscribed yet to the Keto Kamp YouTube channel, I'm releasing 4 brand new videos every single week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you hit the bell as well, you'll get notified when I go live or release a new video. Also, if you're not listening to the Keto Kamp podcast, go give it a listen. It just hit Apple's new and noteworthy list, and it's one of the top 20 podcasts in the United States within the alternative health section. So go and listen to the Keto Kamp podcast, available on all podcast platforms. Choose your favorite, give it a listen, and I'm sure you're going to love it. Thanks so much. Be great. Be grateful.